So here we are in IB, yes, Imperial Beach. I gotta be honest with you, I haven't been here very often since I've lived in San Diego, but driving down here, it is amazing what's come of this area, from the development and the social scene and restaurants, even the real estate is flourishing. So we're gonna be visiting with Mark West, who's running for City Council. We're gonna go have a beer with him in there. Let's go see what he has to say about this area. So here we are with Mark West, who's running for City Council down here in Imperial Beach. Thank you for having us down here. I guess we should start with the cheers, right?
Cheers, yep.
By the way, this is a great beer.
It is a great beer, isn't it?
What is this?
This is it's a Traveler. It's a grapefruit IPA. I'm kind of a big fan. You know, usually there's some other ones that I do, but this one is quite delicious.
Well, if you look at the sunset over here and this beautiful beach setting, it kind of fits perfectly. It's got that taste, so try it. So tell us about where we are. This, I gotta be honest with you, I haven't been to IB very much, and I've been in San Diego since 2003.
Yep.
And just driving down here to meet up with you guys, I'm quite honestly blown away.
Yeah.
Great strip, a lot of scenery, restaurants, and even this is just awesome. So where are we?
This hotel we're at, we're actually at the Pier South Hotel, and we're in the C180 restaurant, which is a Colon restaurant. We are actually at the kind of like the epicenter of all of the redevelopment that's really been going on in Imperial Beach. You know, we started many years ago, and this was kind of a rundown hotel, the Seacoast Inn, and some developers came in and bought the property, spent some money, put this hotel, and now this is actually a part of the Marriott group. So it's really been kind of the catalyst that's kind of started a lot of the redevelopment that happened in Imperial Beach, along with the economy. The economy definitely helped, but this has been. People are coming here, locals, out-of-towners, and they really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a phenomenal job, and if you look outside, there's a lot of people out there. They're enjoying themselves, having drinks like us, all different age groups. So would you say that most of the people here are just people from out of town, or these San Diegans on a staycation? Who's out there?
A little bit of both. So, you know, it's funny, my wife and I come down here about at least 2 or 3 times for the happy hour. And it's a really great time because we actually come down here and we get to talk to people. And I think you know me well enough, Craig. I like to talk to people. And I've run into people from Alaska about 2 months ago. We ran into a couple that just was down here, and they're a Marriott reward group, so they showed up down here. They said, hey, this is a great place, and they loved it. Because it's we have a small town atmosphere here, you know?
Yeah, so you mentioned this was one of the initial kind of the epicenter of redevelopment. So what are some of the things that I saw on my way in here that have been redeveloped? I mean, it looks like IB is making some major progress.
It is. You know, we have Felipe's Pizza actually came in. They bought a building, redeveloped an old Mexican food place, and they redeveloped it, really cleaned it up. And then we've also got some other things like down the road, actually, from this hotel, going south towards Imperial Beach Boulevard, there was a kind of some rundown apartments that actually a company has come in and taken those down, and they're going to build another very similar hotel like this. So then we'll actually have a bookend for each one of the for Imperial Beach on each one of from Palm Avenue to Imperial Beach.
I find it kind of fascinating when you look at the real estate market as a whole and the fact that you can only invent so much dirt, especially dirt that's really sand, right? Yeah. And so, of course, people know about Del Mar and La Jolla and PB and all these coastal areas that are beautiful. And it's almost like IB gets neglected a bit. And to watch this development happen, you gotta think over time that the real estate here is this hidden gem because you can't reinvent that. No. And I don't know anywhere else, certainly not in SoCal, that it even exists for the price points that you get down here. So how is the real estate doing?
It's really come a long way. When my wife and I bought our home here in 2007, you know, it was, IB was that was at the bubble, you know, and they were really struggling. Imperial Beach is probably the last affordable beach community in all of Southern California. And that's a challenge though too, because we don't want to price out a lot of those good, hardworking people that have lived here in Imperial.
Well, it's certainly happening in other areas.
It is, it really is. But there is that whole thing about wanting to make sure that our community continues to grow, because there's still things that could really use redevelopment in many ways. So we want to have smart redevelopment that really goes into our community, and that's what I really advocate on my city council.
So you're running for city council, right? So you're going to try and affect change here. Day one, you win, where do we start?
Well, the first thing I want to start on is really the trash. So Imperial Beach has got a great beauty that you can just see.
Yep.
But if you were to walk 2 blocks away from the beach, the trash just seems to get more and more. And last year I was injured pretty badly, and I spent about 4 months in recovery, and all I did was walk my brand new puppy through Imperial Beach, and she was a little tired of walking it, but I walked every block in this city, and it was amazing the amount of trash that I saw. And it's not that people don't care, it's just there's not enough trash cans out there, the city's not giving enough, there's not enough street cleaning that goes on. It's simple things to make trash disappear are not there, and that's the first thing.
Let me go a little bit deeper here. Why do you think the neglect, or not necessarily from people, but I'm thinking more of like citywide, why are there not more resources going into an area that, again, I mean, if you look where we're looking right now, you wouldn't know if you were in La Jolla, in IB, or Beverly Hills. You just don't know the difference from this view. So it's troubling to know that as you go a couple blocks, we see that. So why the neglect, and how do you fix it?
Well, you know, I think it's just about a lot of education. There is people out there who are maybe not contributing, but they're not doing a lot of the right things. You know, they're leaving their trash cans open, so birds come and they deposit, they pick out the trash because they're looking for food, and next thing you know, they're strewn out through our city. But then, you know, there's not enough receptacles for people to put trash in. So unfortunately, somebody who doesn't really respect the neighborhood, you know, throws a can out of his car or something like that. And it's really educating people is really the most important thing, and providing the services that they can use to get rid of it.
I think the more you develop restaurants like this, or what we just saw down the strip, the more it's going to naturally breed, I think, a better philosophy on life down here. I would like to think. You have you're a surfer.
I am.
You have some initiatives on the water. I know that's a challenge.
It is.
What do we do there?
So I am the chair of Surfriders San Diego currently. I've been doing that for two years now, and I really wanted to tackle the problem where we have pollution that's coming across from Mexico. So what I did while I've been chair is I established the Northern Baja Surfrider chapter. And really, they're a very small chapter, and they're really getting their legs under them. But really what we've advocated is just finding out when illegal sewage discharges are happening, because unfortunately, the Tijuana River, which is in my backyard, which is a beautiful area in many ways when it's not raining, but when it rains, 90% of that river is in Mexico. So those 90%, a lot of those, there's communities all along that river that don't have sewage systems. So what they do is it all just discharges right into that river. It flows down here into Imperial Beach. And
could you imagine how this country would react to that?
You know, if this were happening in Los Angeles, in the middle, people would go crazy. And I don't even think people really even understand how bad it is. Because let's say you hear about sewage spills all the time throughout San Diego. You know, well, 1,000 gallons were spilled in San Diego Bay. That's big news. But when one rainfall happens in Imperial Beach, the river on a good rainstorm will discharge 1.2 million. I mean, that quick. It's a lot, because it's a big river system, and it all collects and dumps right down into Imperial Beach. So, you know, it's tragic, because when it happens, it closes down the beaches all the way from the border all the way to Coronado. So it's bad.
Well, the good news is, for our audience here, I've got to know you pretty well. You've been on some of our other shows, and someone who's an avid surfer like you are, I know that you take the issue very seriously. I don't think it's an easy job for you. You can't control weather, and you can't necessarily control Mexico, but I'm sure that you can engage in conversations, and the passion you have around all of it, being here in IB, and certainly as a surfer, I think you can bring a lot to this community. I appreciate you having us down here. I guess the best thing to do is finish with a cheers, right?
Cheers, Greg. Appreciate it.
So that was Mark West, and here we are in Imperial Beach. I got to tell you, it's amazing. Beautiful day. I'm going to finish my beer, and we're going to go back to Lifestyles now.
We're here at Steel Canyon High School, and I am joined by the real estate duo, the fantastic team, Lyle and Grace Cadell, and the executive director of the EP Save a Life Foundation, Sarah Thompson. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Let's give some backstory to the heart of this foundation, where it all began. I know that you two have such a personal story, a personal involvement with the foundation. Tell us about this.
Well, you know, a lot of great families knew this family, the Paredes family, and we were just so blessed to be part of that. And Grace and I had a wonderful opportunity to start and move them out here to our community here in Rancho San Diego, and became good friends, very good friends. Eric Paredes and Hector and Rena, of course, the parents, wonderful people. We began to have just a wonderful relationship of being able to do some great things together in our community. And one was building a youth football and cheer program. I'll never forget the day when Hector Paredes helped put this whole program together for the kids. We all had such a passion for, you know, children, and from the ages of 5 years old all the way up to, you know, 18 years old, we had an opportunity to build a program together and have wonderful athletes. Unbeknownst to us, knowing that the one superior athlete, which was his son, Eric Paredes, had a condition that had something to do with cardiac arrest, we didn't know. Eric had passed away at a very young age, and we had some absolutely wonderful times with him and his family. He was the most fun, loving kid, and just full of just passion in life. And we all grew up right across the street from each other, to one day find, you know, my daughter sitting out in front of our house, and actually seeing Eric coming out of the house, passed away, was just absolutely stunning. And to think that, you know, that could happen to just anybody out there, just really is hard to understand. And for people to deal with that emotion, and that to deal with your kids having to see something like that happen to one of your closest friends, is just amazing. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to be part of such an excellent charity. It's called EP Save a Life Foundation, which actually helps screen kids with things that us parents don't even see every single day. Had I known that this was going to happen, my child would have been screened many, many years ago.
Because this is something that we don't see the signs for?
Correct, correct. And Sarah can probably give us a little bit more background, because you looked at Eric, he was a healthy boy, energetic, just full of fun and love and life. So yes, it came as a shock to all of us. And I think till this day, none of us really believe that it happened, but through the foundation, I think it's opened the eyes of many out there, me especially, to know that no other mother or father should ever go through something like this if it could be prevented. So I think just the foundation's done a great job, and that's why it's near and dear to our heart, because we really truly believe that awareness is important, so this doesn't ever happen again to another parent or child.
Let's talk about how we discover that there might be something wrong with our child's heart. There are no signs, there are no symptoms.
Right, oftentimes there are not any warning signs or symptoms. However, we provide free heart screenings to teens ages 12 through 25 that could detect a heart abnormality or some sort of an electrical issue with the heart. So our screenings are a simple process. You register on our website, epsavealife.org, and when you come prepared to the screening with your cardiac questionnaire all filled out, that actually encourages parents to have a dialogue with their teens about how they're feeling. Maybe they have fainted recently in practice, or they have a rapid heart rate that doesn't quite recover following athletic activity. So when the individuals come to the screenings, it's a 6-step process, if you will, through registration. A panel of nurses actually review the cardiac questionnaire just to see if there are any warning signs. We actually also teach hands-only CPR and how to use an AED, which is the only way to restart a heart should sudden cardiac arrest occur. So after learning how to save someone's life, they move through and go through the EKG process, where it actually just looks at the heart rate, and a cardiologist will actually review those forms with the students to see if a secondary screening might be necessary, where we do a limited echocardiogram and ultrasound of the heart to see if there are any actual abnormalities itself.
How many screenings is the foundation doing now each year?
We host 6 screenings per year throughout San Diego County. We travel to the different regions, and you can visit our website again for a full list of screenings that are absolutely free for anyone to attend.
And do these take place at different schools throughout the county?
Typically at high schools. We've been here at Steel Canyon. We'll be up next at Monte Vista High School on December 4th.
That's so incredible. I mean, just to save one child's life from the loss of Eric is just so special, and you guys have saved thousands.
Absolutely. We've screened over 21,000 kids to date. So typically it takes less than an hour to be screened, and we'll find about 1 in 100 was at risk for cardiac arrest.
Now, this foundation started out really grassroots with your family, friends, and the community involvement, and is now reaching a national scale.
Yes. And thank God it is, because we would have never thought of this, but it had to happen right in front of our eyes. And these people are just absolutely the most wonderful people you'll ever meet, the Paredes family. To happen to them, but I thank God for one thing for sure, is boy, what a great couple to have started such a foundation like this. And boy, I also want to add, just the community here when this all happened was just so into it. We're all so alive with it, and Eric will always be alive with all of us, and there's no doubt.
And let's talk about a really important gala that's coming up for the foundation.
Yes, absolutely. So one of our biggest fundraisers for the year is our Save a Heart, Save a Life Gala, which will be held on Friday, October 7th on the Inspiration Hornblower right here on San Diego Bay. And all of our proceeds will raise that evening will go to support the Screen Your Teen program.
It's just such an incredible cause. It pulls on your heartstrings. How can it not? I mean, all of us, so many of us have children, and you just never know. I actually personally had a friend that was 21 that had this and passed away as well. So we need to reach some more families, don't we?
Out there. And, I'd like to thank you guys at Lifestyles for really helping us, get this out there, and more people need to be aware of it, because it could be your child.
Yes, it absolutely could be, and they can log on to the website, correct?
Yes, go to epsavealife.org for more information.
epsavealife.org, all right. I know that you two are real estate agents, but today is not about real estate. It's about the community. It's about getting together in honor of Eric and so many countless children that we can save together through EP Save a Life Foundation.
Absolutely.
We get so involved with real estate. We get entrenched with helping people move into their homes, but ultimately really it's about the community, and it's about helping people, and something near and dear to our heart is the charity. So yes, along with being real estate agents, we are also volunteers in our community, and nothing means more to us than to see the youth flourish in our world, as they are our future, and also having great friends like Hector and Rena and their daughter Jessica, who are just have a big place in our heart.
Well, thank you all so much for your time and devotion and heart.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Tour for Lifestyles San Diego. We're here at George's at the Cove in La Jolla, ready to talk to San Diego's elite real estate agent, Arlo Nugent from Blue Tip Realty Group, and his special guest, Sherry Ahern from the La Jolla Art and Wine Festival. Welcome to Lifestyles. We're here at the iconic George's at the Cove restaurant in beautiful La Jolla with San Diego's elite luxury real estate broker, Arlo Nugent.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are also here with the beautiful Sherry Ahern, who heads the La Jolla Art and Wine Festival.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us down here. Now, let's talk about George's a little bit. This is, like I said, an iconic location, one of the most popular restaurants, I think, in San Diego.
Absolutely.
It has a gorgeous view. And the ambiance is great, the food is fabulous. Tell me about George's.
Well, I can tell you that George's has been here a long time, but I'd like to tell you a little bit about George.
Okay.
So because I live in La Jolla and I do a lot of community service in La Jolla, so does George. George Hauer started this restaurant, I want to say about 30 years ago. I might be just right around that time. And George does a lot of community service for La Jolla. In fact, I sit on a board with him. We are in the La Jolla Community Foundation. We are beautifying La Jolla. But George does a lot of really good things for La Jolla, he and his wife and his family. So it's neat that George is his restaurant. He started it. I really believe he's responsible for California cuisine, as he put it. And the food is delicious and consistently delicious. And he lives in La Jolla.
Yeah.
and he does a lot for La Jolla.
Great community guy.
Exactly.
I love that. When you have a restaurant that's located here, it's been here for a long time, and you don't just sit back, but you also get involved in the community. Now, talking about beautifying, it looks as though this place has had a little facelift, a little renovation done. It looks beautiful.
It's beautiful. In fact, I think the only time it's not busy is when it's not open.
Yeah.
Right, that's true. That's true.
It definitely brings in the crowd. It's a great place for private parties, different functions here.
And an excellent place to bring clients to who are from out of area. This is the place where we can sit down, we can talk about a little bit of business. And the backdrop, it just sells La Jolla. It's just amazing.
And speaking of business and in La Jolla, I know that you specialize in this area, especially with the high-end luxury market. What is your take on the market in general here in La Jolla?
So what's really interesting in the Shores specifically right now is today, as we're filming this, we have more homes, high-end, multi-million-dollar properties pending than we've had all of the summer months combined. Wow. And that goes against everybody always says, oh, summertime, it's so hot. Well, in fact, we're seeing right now, this is going to be one of the strongest quarters that we've had in La Jolla. Average price in the Shores right now is about $1,300, which is pending, which is right in line with what the active average price is. Typically, those two numbers are off, but right now it's a very, very healthy market.
Wow. So what is the inventory like? Do we have a lot of homes available, or what do you see?
Healthy inventory. So right now in the Shores, there are 8 active homes. There are 7 pending, and there are 3 sold. So that's pretty healthy.
Wow. And La Jolla is absolutely a gorgeous place to be, and there's a lot that goes on within the community. And I wanted to bring up one in particular, the Art and Wine Festival, because I know that's coming up next week, October 8th and 9th.
Right.
And I want to know all about this, because I've actually never experienced it myself, but I hear amazing things, and it really brings in the crowd here in La Jolla.
Absolutely.
And I know that you are very involved with this. Talk a little bit more about your involvement.
Yeah, so I founded this. This will be our 8th year, and for 3 years, we did it on what we call Upper Girard, because now we're down in the village on Girard Avenue, and it starts on Torrey Pines, and it runs all the way on Girard Avenue down to Prospect. We're on both sides of Silverado and one side of Wall. Because the event got so big, we were very lucky that we were able to move it down into the village of La Jolla.
Wow. And you said that this is going to be the 8th year.
This is the 8th year. We always have it on Columbus Day weekend. Okay. And this year it's October 8th and 9th because we had a leap year. Because normally it's a little later, it's a couple days later. And it's nice that it's on a 3-day weekend.
So where is this actually going to be located? I know you said Girard Avenue.
Yes. So that's the village of La Jolla. So if we're at George's, we're about a 2-minute walk.
Okay. I think we should go take a look down there. What do you think?
I think we should.
All right.
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right, so here we are on Girard Avenue. Tell us, what is this going to look like next weekend?
Well, if you've ever seen a city go up in about 4 hours, that's exactly what ends up happening. So basically, down the middle of the street right here, we take all of the artists back to back from Prospect Street, down the middle of the street, all the way down to Torrey Pines. We have 200 artists, they're back to back. Some of the artists have 2 booths, some have 1, some have tents over them, some don't. If they have glass, they want it to shimmer.
Right.
But it's just an entire city that sets up, and it's really exciting. Like, you just look at it, and it's like being a kid in a candy factory. So we're gonna have a stilt walker parade.
Wow.
And then we have a troupe, and they do aerial yoga, aerial acrobatics, and they're going to be roving throughout the entire festival. We also have La Jolla High School Marching Band. They're going to do a flash mob. We have a lot of really cool things that happen on the street, but our main stage is in the Wine and Beer Garden, and we have entertainment for 30 minutes from the time we open until the time we close.
Wow. So artists are going to be performing and singing?
We have singers, and we've got jazz bands, and we've got country western, and in between the sets, or the band setting up and breaking down, we're going to be having some speakers, which is really cool. Like, we'll have a sommelier from the vintners, from the winery speaking, and then we'll have the brewers talking about, the breweries, and it's very
informative.
And people really like hearing about it.
Now, this sounds like a lot. There's so much going on, so many activities for people of all ages. Is it going to be expensive to get in?
Well, actually, I'm glad that you brought that up. The only thing you need to pay for is the art you buy.
Okay.
the food in our gourmet food court.
All right.
And for tastings in the wine and beer garden. Oh, and then of course, if you want to go into our silent auction, where we have some amazing experiences, all the artists give us something. Some of them give us something for each day. Wow. And then this is the first time that in our wine and beer garden, we're going to have some pretty amazing things like, you know, NASCAR driving for a day with hotel and airfare. Wow. We're going to have some pretty amazing auction items, only 10 in the wine and beer garden as well.
Now this event, you've been involved with it since it begun.
I was actually the person that had the epiphany in the middle of the night for it, yes.
Really?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That must feel so rewarding for you to see kind of where you started and now where it's become.
Well, it's a wonderful feeling, and we started with like 80 artists on Upper Girard Avenue. We moved it down to the Village 5 years ago, actually, yeah, 5 years ago. And we took on another block 2 years ago. Wow. Because we sell out with the artists in 24 hours once we close our application. And so we could take over more of La Jolla. We're part of the La Jolla Merchants Group.
I think I could see that happening very soon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Is there a place where people can stay overnight? I know there's a lot of great hotels around here.
Absolutely. I mean, all the hotels in La Jolla are absolutely open for that weekend, and they would love, it's nice to live in San Diego and go stay at a hotel for a weekend.
Right.
Absolutely.
Or come to town and buy a house from you.
That's right. I have a few for sale.
You do? You have a few listings actually here in La Jolla.
I do. I've got a couple in the shores. Absolutely. We've talked about, one of them is on El Paseo Grande. It's right on the water, and then one is just a street off Paseo del Acaso. Two excellent properties. Would love to show them.
Absolutely. If somebody was interested in those properties or possibly buying or selling, how could they get a hold of you?
The best way is just to call me directly. I'm very easy to reach, 858-405-0063.
Awesome. And about the Art and Wine Festival, if somebody wants to learn more about it and come to this great event, is there somewhere they can visit?
Absolutely. It's La Jolla ArtandWineFestival.com. Go to our website, and we also have a volunteer sign-up sheet.
Okay.
So it'd be really fun if you came. We have about 400 volunteers for the weekend, and we have so many different jobs, but it's just fun because there's so many people and there's a really good vibe, and it's a happening place.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited to check it out.
I am too.
I'm gonna be
excited
Absolutely.
to have
I'll
you.
be
Yes.
here. Yep, we'll be here.
Sign up for a volunteer position.
I will.
Excellent.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks so much for sharing about it.
Thank you.
We're really excited about it. We appreciate the opportunity to share it with you.
Awesome. And Arlo, congratulations on all of your success.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Keep it up. You just heard from San Diego's elite real estate agent Arlo Nugent and his guest Sherry Ahern about the upcoming event at the La Jolla Art and Wine Festival. We hope to see you there.